The name of this book is Skateboards Made by Hand. It's written by Patricia Lakin. If you've got wheels under your feet, you can fly. What freedom! You can swoosh on a skateboard. You can use it for tricks or for travel. Just what is a skateboard? In the following pages you'll find out. You'll also get a behind-the-scenes look at a very special company where these wheeled wonders are made by hand. You'll find out why the man who created this business just had to put wheels under his own feet. What is a skateboard? A skateboard is a narrow board. It has 4 wheels attached to its underside. There are 3 main parts. There's the deck or top part, the part you put your feet on. The trucks are the metal pieces attached underneath. They hold the 3rd part, the wheels. But a skateboard is so much more than its parts. It's a great diagram. History of the skateboard. No one really knows who made the first skateboard, but kids longed to have wheels under their feet. Even before the 1920s, kids nailed a wooden fruit crate onto a board, attached wheels to it, and took off. By the 1930s, companies were making scooter-style metal boards. Most people would pick California as the birthplace of skateboards. That's because there's a strong link between skateboarding and surfing. But California surfers could only ride the waves when there were waves. When the Pacific Ocean was calm, those surfers needed another way to keep their bodies moving. In the 1960s, these itching-to-go surfers would make their own skateboards. First, they'd find a plank of wood. Then they would take the wheels off roller skates and nail them onto their board. Presto! They had their own skateboard. Soon the sport spread far beyond California. The next 30 years brought improvements in the wheels and the board's decks. In 1972, a company named Cadillac created wheels made of a material called urethane. These wheels gripped the sidewalk surface and gave skateboarders a smoother ride. And instead of a straight slab of wood, many decks now have a raised front or a back lip. This allows the rider to do more skating tricks. Over time, skateboarders kept coming up with new and interesting ways to use the board. Now special parks are constructed to give skateboarders places to ride. Some skateboard designers want to make boards that help skateboarders try new tricks. Other designers want to bring back the beauty found in old-style boards. That's where Jake Eshelman comes in. He started a company called Side Project Skateboards. He purposely makes his boards flat to honor the style of the 60s. Most important for Jake, he can proudly say, "My skateboards are made by me. They are all made by hand." Meet Jake Eshelman. Whoosh! 8-year-old Jake Eshelman swooped downhill on his snowboard. He loved this winter sport, but he couldn't do it very often. Jake grew up in Virginia. There are no high mountains in Virginia, and there's not much snow. His mom suggested he get a skateboard. Yes, whizzing on that board gave Jake the same joy and thrill as snowboarding, and he could do it year-round. Jake kept on skateboarding even when he went off to college in San Antonio, Texas. Jake was sure he'd go on to law school. His plans changed after he met and fell in love with a classmate, Margot. She was an art major. Jake got to learn about Margot's artistic world and realized he could have a career creating things. He gave up the idea of law school. After college, they both moved to Houston, Margot's hometown. Jake started walking with Margot's father, Hugh. He frames pieces of art. As the two worked side by side, Hugh filled Jake with stories of his own skateboarding adventures from when Hugh was growing up in the 60s. Hugh's stories gave Jake, still a dedicated skateboarder, an idea. Each day, Jake had to toss out beautiful strips of maple, swamp ash, cherry, or walnut. They were too small to use for the art frames Hugh made, but Jake was drawn to the variety of colors and the magnificent patterns in those wood strips. What if Jake glued them together? He could make his very own skateboard. That's just what Jake did. Skating on a board made with his own hands gave Jake a feeling of joy. In fact, and here are some pictures of Jake snowboarding, Jake skateboarding in college, and here's Jake with the first skateboard he ever built. You can see the pieces of wood. Excuse me. Still, the board that Jake uses every day as he skateboards around town. Others saw Jake's board and wanted one too, and that's how the Side Project Skateboards was born. Making skateboards is Jake's side project. His other career is in creative advertising. He helps other companies sell their products. Jake deals with words and ideas all day long. In the evening, he enters his woodworking shop and turns on the heavy metal music that he loves. Then he gets to work. Making something with his very own hands gives Jake such a sense of accomplishment that it's almost impossible to describe. The skills he uses in his day job help him tell people online and in the real world all about the side project skateboards. The advice Jake would like to pass on is be honest with yourself, find what fires your passion. Above all, feel comfortable and unafraid to take chances. This is Jake's studio in Houston, Texas. And here's another picture of Jake's father-in-law in the 1960s. How the skateboard is made. Jake goes through a huge pile of tossed out wood strips. He prefers using hardwoods like maple, cherry, and walnut. He looks at the wood's color and designs the wood lines or grains make. For some steps, Jake uses his hands. For other steps, to save time, he uses machines. From start to finish, including drying time, it takes Jake approximately 1 week to make a skateboard. Walk into Jake's large gray floored workspace, and you'll see a wood of every size and color. Wide wood planks and tall, narrow strips lean against one wall. Nearby is an L-shaped wooden work table. A white peg board holds wrenches, pinchers, scrapers, and tape measures. Hanging vacuum hoses are ready to suck up the curly wood chips that will fall to the floor. After putting on his safety goggles and gloves, Jake follows these steps.
Are you teaching Bubba?